Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Fire Emblem 3 Houses for Nintendo Switch. Before we start, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this. On this channel, we'll be talking about upcoming games and just my thoughts on the new video games coming out. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let me start off by saying that I barely dipped my toes in any Fire Emblem games. The only ones I did play are Fire Emblem Heroes, which is a mobile game, and Fire Emblem Awakening, but that was only about a few missions maybe. So this is coming from someone who's fairly new to the series. Also, another disclaimer, I haven't actually finished the game yet as of yet. If you take your time at it, this is a long game. And it's really up to you how long you want to play the game. I won't get into too much of the story. The gameplay shown is from the beginning, so don't worry about spoilers. You play as a former mercenary who was asked to be a professor at this monastery where you will be given the option to pick one out of the 3 houses that rule over the land. Each one has different students that you'll teach throughout the game, as well as a house leader who is also a student. It is your job to be teaching these kids and leading them into battle. Unfortunately for these kids, they could die in these battles. But we're not going to talk about that in this video. Maybe another video, but it's kind of weird how this school operates. Definitely not the best place to send your kids, but hey, you know. Education is important. But anyways, at the monastery there is a church that has made enemies in the past, and there's a lot more to the story, but that's the basics. Alright, let's get into the graphics. So the graphics are a mixed bag in my opinion. The character models look great and are full of life in the cutscenes and just in general. The environment, however, could use some work, especially in the hub. I can't tell if it was intentional by the developers to get a better frame rate or what, but they are lacking in good quality textures. Also, the lighting is mixed as well. Sometimes it's fine, other times it's just poor. It's not enough to ruin the game, don't get me wrong, but it's worth mentioning. The graphics for the battles are pretty decent. I don't really have any complaints for them. It's just the monastery that really got my attention. Although I do want to mention the fact that there's like an actual army with you, so it doesn't just feel like a 1v1. It's like an army behind you. I thought that was a really nice touch. The Fire Emblem series has always been about strategy and turn-based combat. This is the bread and butter of the games, where you can use your big brain to figure out how to get through the enemies and complete the level without your teammates dying. Like mine. This is not a game where there's a ton of action and you're right in the middle of it. In this, you really have to think before you move and take dangerous risks in order to complete battles. There's different weapons your students can equip for battle, not to mention the magic you can use for both offense and defense. There's this rush you get after you outsmart your opponents. The battles are engaging even for those who like high action games. And there's 2 different difficulty sections in 3 houses. There's the normal and hard difficulty, where it just makes the enemies harder or a bit easier. But there's also another difficulty setting called casual and classic. Casual is where if one of your teammates die, they won't stay dead. But in classic, they stay dead permanently, which is a big yikes if you actually like your kids. These professors just don't get paid enough. But that just goes back to the whole think before you do mentality. This game isn't just about the battles, however. There's also the teaching your character has to do in order to make ends meet. Outside of battles, you will be teaching your kids in whatever you want to teach them. Each student has different strengths and weaknesses. It's up to you how you teach the students. In fact, you can even make them learn something they don't like, but later on master it and level up in that class. This is also where you really get to connect with your students and learn more about them. You can also recruit students from different houses if you like the students from the other houses. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, wow, I could care less about connecting with my students, I just want to kill people. Well, you're in luck, because Nintendo has come up with a great solution. which is auto-instructing, which basically you just click the auto-instruct button and it'll teach the class for you and it'll get you to the action faster. But doing activities with your students will grow bonds and help them on the battlefield, as well as make them stronger and level them up quicker. The hub is the monastery where you also participate in different activities like fishing, eating with your students, cooking, gardening, etc. Stuff you do here really helps you on the battlefield, which is why the gameplay time varies. There's a mission at the end of each month that you work towards, and you can do whatever you want to prepare for that mission, whether that's exploring the monastery, participating in seminars, or even doing little battles here and there. The music is excellent. I was so impressed with the music in this game. Really, there are some catchy songs that get stuck in my head for days. The battle music is so good and really pumps me up and keeps me engaged. Overall, I just love the soundtrack, and I'm still finding songs that I'm humming along to. So overall, if you are a strict action-heavy person, then this game might not be for you. But even if you are, I think it's still worth checking out. It's not a game for everyone, of course. If you hate strategy games like this, or sim-like, social, persona-like games, then this is not going to change your mind. But if you are on the fence about it, I would say check it out. It really surprised me how much this game has won me over, and now I'm hooked. I'm not going to give it a rating until I completely finish it, but if I had to give it a rating of what I played so far, it would be about an 8 or 9 out of 10. If the story gets fleshed out with twists and character development and all that. I love this game so far. If you're on the fence about it, or if you got it and playing it, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the game? Also, I'd really appreciate if you'd like this video and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you all next time.